Good afternoon, friends. Konnichiwa. Because it's already afternoon, and it's a blessed afternoon for every one of us around the world. Welcome to the New Normal Athlete. So, as we mentioned previously from our last vlog, that you can always give us comments and also suggestions or even some questions if you want to ask us some of our experience in running in Japan, in Philippines, or in life. Anything. So thank you so much for one subscriber who sent us a question about my running injuries. And now I would like to share to you her question. Okay, question number 1. Okay. Anyways, let us look at her question. And she said that, Dear New Normal Athlete, thank you so much for providing us interesting stories of your running life, your experiences in Japan, as well as featuring stories of several people that you meet in Japan and in the Philippines. Oh, salamat. Thank you so much for that nice comment. It's my comment. And my question is that have you ever been injured as a runner, and how did you cope up or overcome these injuries? Love, subscriber unknown. The last time unknown subscriber. This time is subscriber unknown. What is that? Anyways, thank you so much for your very, very interesting question, and I'm very pleased to answer that. Okay, thank you so much, subscriber unknown, for that question. Okay, so let me start by saying that I am not a perfect athlete. I commit mistakes in my training, in my nutrition, and because of these imperfections, yes, I have experienced several injuries in my career as a runner.
Oh no!
So I will slowly and tell you what are these topmost injuries, and I will give you the major injuries that I experienced as a runner. So, as I have mentioned, we are not perfect athletes, and once in a while we experience these struggles, especially having an injury. And a running injury really affects runners, and the injury also for other athletes, because it depends on the severity of that injury that you may need to stop for a while from your training, and second, you may stop for maybe for very long time from your training. And this does not only affect the athlete physically but also mentally. Alam nyo to, in runners, during running you may experience this so-called runner's high. So after running you feel very high, and this is because of this hormones that have been induced or produced during an exercise, which boosts the production of these hormones, which improve the overall mental health, especially of people who do exercise. So just a trivia. So when an athlete who need to stop the training due to an injury, if this type of hormones are being stopped, sometimes they feel sad, they feel depressed, anxiety, like that, and they just want to go back to training again. But sometimes, because they cannot do anything, they really feel sad. So this was also my case. So first, I tell you my first major major injury. Number 1. So when I was in the University of the Philippines as a track and field athlete, there was a pain suddenly after rigorous training, for some competitions and some races. I felt some pain at this side of my feet, this side. I forgot the name of this side, but I think it's the tibial part of the feet. And then at first, it was the pain was still okay. Like I could run, but it becomes more painful when I run. But if I do not run, it's not there. But it improves the pain when I run. Then when I stop, it is not there. So what I did was continue training. Just continue training. But then I noticed that the pain became worse and worse. And even so that when I'm walking, I can already feel the pain. That time I did not know that it's really serious. So I just said, oh, maybe just because there's also, they call shin splints because it's near it's also in the shin part. But I did not know that it's not actually a shin splint, but the worst. So unfortunately, I ended up not running because I could not really run it. If I run it, there's so much pain. And after running, like there's already some contraction in the muscles like that. So I stopped running. So I went to the doctor, the sports therapist, and he said when he checked my foot X-ray, he said, Grace, I did not see any broken bone actually in your foot, and this means that it's probably a very tiny fracture, a stress fracture that may have happened in some parts of the bone. That's why I cannot see. So, and the only way so you can recover is to stop running. So like, what? So I said, oh, I need to stop running. So yeah, I was sad, but fortunately my coach was really supportive, and he said that yes, you have to stop running, but I have to recover via active recovery. That's why I may have told you previously in my vlogs the term active recovery. So I did a lot of running in the pool, walking in the pool. I took swimming classes. I did a lot of brisk walking. I did a lot of Zumba and aerobics. So anything that still exercise my body but will not influence my feet. So the injury stayed around 2 to 2.5 months. So there was no running for 3 months, 2.5 months. And fortunately, around near when I had to join a Milo marathon that time, it was okay, improving very well. So yes, one important thing from this my first injury is do a lot of active recovery instead of just resting your feet and just sitting down. Do active recovery so that the blood circulates well in your feet and it improves the recovery of the surrounding muscles and also the bones. So one tip that I tell you how I recovered is through active recovery. So fortunately, I recovered from the stress fracture. This is my first injury. So when I was already in Japan, I registered for my first 42.195 kilometers, or we so-called the full marathon. And that time, the training was really intense. When you join marathon, you have to log in a lot of running mileage, a lot of kilometers, or doing long runs. So my feet was shocked that time, and I had my second stress fracture. It's also the same. I feel the pain, but it was not worse. It's less worse than my first one. So I had my second stress fracture at the other side of my feet. So my first injury is in my left foot, and now it happened in the right foot. So now I was learning. So I knew now how to recover. So I did still a lot of active recovery. But because in Japan, biking is very, very popular, so I can do a lot of biking, long bikes, and also I can do some walking in the pool or swimming in the pool. And also there are a lot of cross trainers here. So I did a lot of active recovery exercises. I do a lot of stretching and also foam rolls and massage. So that was my second stress fracture. And yes, as I told you, I have been training for many, many marathons, and at the same time, I also have a lot of still have some injuries. But my another major injury is the cuboid. So the cuboid I want to show you is just it's like a part of the it's a part of the feet. Yes. So if you notice in our feet, we have this part. Sometimes it's this part of our feet. This the cuboid. This one. It's like the side of the it's near the heels, so it's located here. So I felt a very sharp pain in this cuboid part, and I thought again that it was not so serious, so I continued to run and run. And unfortunately, it is a bit serious than I thought. So I had to stop running by around 2 to 3 weeks. And yeah, in this case, I did not run at all again, and just I continue to recover by doing a lot of active recovery by different exercises. So, subscriber unknown, yes, this is my answer to your question, that I have been through a lot of injuries, and this is probably because of overtraining. Sometimes I do a lot of trainings, I did not rest, and also probably some nutrition deficiencies in my diet, and lastly, maybe I did not stretch much. So also, these are the three important points that you need to remember. I know maybe you're a runner also. So first, when you have injury, try to understand if you need to really stop running, or if you I think for me, my suggestion is to stop running at all, especially if it's really a stress fracture. Please do not run with a stress fracture. It's really dangerous. It may take really long time before you can recover. And next, do a lot of warm up activities and cool down exercises before and after your runs or exercise. And 3, include a lot of cross training in your cross training in your running workout plans. So not only running, but do a lot of cross training. As you can see from my previous vlogs, I've been doing a lot of like Army Dozen and other forms of my cross training, such as biking. Yes. And finally, please do not overuse your body. Like, please respect the time for rest, because it's very important. Yeah. And this is my learning as an athlete, as a runner with many injuries. Yes, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to learn from my mistakes and not to repeat it again. So luckily, fortunately, thanks to God, these days I do not have some injuries, not like before. So, and also, please don't forget to do a lot of strength training, so that your body is also very, very prepared, like your muscles are very strong for this type of stress done by running. So thank you so much once again, subscriber unknown, for this very nice question, and I hope that people, like some other runners, also learn from this experience of mine. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.